Hi, this is Joe Costa, your host of ESUGARNEWS, bringing you recent developments with respect to entertainment legal news. And today I'm going to be speaking about what is paining us all tremendously, and that is the strike that has now taken place with both the WGA and the Screen Actors Guild. First time since 1980 that both have gone on strike together. Today, there was a whole bunch of back and forth between the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which is a group of producers that negotiate on behalf of the studios, and on the other side, SAG, about exactly where the negotiation is. And point by point, they laid out exactly everything that there's a disagreement on. And I am going to get into every single detail of this. No, I'm not. I'm not going to get into any details about this dispute because it is tedious. It is something that I could present to you, but it's going to fly over everybody's heads. And at the end of the day, I really do wish that the Alliance and SAG could put the same energy that they're putting into the back and forth that's going on and just get in a room and try to figure this stuff out. They did it 3 years ago. They entered into a contract. They could do it again. But instead, I'm going to talk about what may matter to me, which is what can I still see and what am I going to be able to watch? What can we still watch? That is the critical question here. Well, one thing we can still watch is productions that take place in the UK because they're governed by a different agreement. So what does that mean? That means House of Dragons, the prequel to Game of Thrones, is still fair game, and that's continuing with all production. There will also be unscripted TV. What is unscripted TV? Reality shows, game shows, documentary, things like that. Well, we're gonna see a lot of that, so get ready for, they're going to have great-great-grandmother bachelors and bachelorettes coming out soon. We got to prepare ourselves for that. That can be very traumatic for some of us to have to just watch that. In addition, there are award shows, but the award shows are not going to be able to take place with talent, so that's difficult. There could be talk shows, but the talk shows need writers to write, so that can be difficult, and they need guests. And the guests can't talk about their own stuff, because if they're talking about their own stuff, they're technically working, they're promoting. And that's a big problem with one thing that does exist. There's a lot of finished movies that are ready to go, they're ready to roll, and they have their talent out there ready to start promoting. That could take place in the form of film festivals. It could take place in the form of premiere. And you may remember hearing a story about Oppenheimer, how as soon as the strike was announced, all of the talent walked out of the premiere. Why did they walk out of the premiere? Because they didn't like it, they didn't like their work, they were mad at Christopher Nolan. I don't think that's the real reason. They walked out because technically by attending a premiere, they're promoting the film, which is part of their contracts and which is part of the services they render. So are you going to take a risk on a $100 million movie if you're a producer and roll it out without any of the publicity that takes place, without any of the promotion that takes place and the buzz that surrounds those great celebrities from promoting it? You may not want to. So you're going to see a lot of big films being rolled back in terms of release dates. Other things that we may get to watch, well, animated films can go forward, but if you could imagine, all of the dialogue has to be done by employees, so they're going to go forward with temporary dialogues until they could get the actors in there to start doing it. But what we're seeing is pretty much a shutdown of most productions. There still are some independent productions, and an independent production can get a waiver. So in other words, if you have a certain film and you're not a member of the Alliance, you're not one of those producers that's represented by that group of producers, then you can apply to be able to continue to go forward with SAG actors. And some of that's going to happen too. But we're in for a difficult time, and all we can say here at ESUGARNEWS is let's put our heads together, let's get through this, Come on, guys, you did it before. If you need Joe Costa to step in that room and to help you resolve it, I'll bring Ruthie with me. We'll get it done. Only at ESUGARNEWS, and that is how we'll get a verdict of 2 winners. Get it done. We'll see you soon on ESUGARNEWS.